Outstanding game. Mark Schlereth, Chris Myers in Charlotte, North Carolina. The Buccaneers, who needed it to stay in the playoff chase, get the record to 6-6 atop the NFC South in a fantastic game played by Bryce Young and the Panthers. But let's talk about the Buccaneers, because you think they're good enough to win the division. They were confident when we talked to them, but they got a lot of work to do, and this was a struggle.
This was a sloppy game, but when you win sloppy games, it does bring some confidence to what you're doing. They really leaned back into the run game, and even though Baker Mayfield had turned the ball over twice, really wasn't playing very well, it got down to crunch time, and that's when Baker plays his best football, led them to a couple of touchdown drives, and I'm telling you what, it was the difference in this game.
Yeah, had to limp off injured for a few plays, but came back to fight. Meanwhile, Bryce Young was outstanding. They played error-free ball, the Panthers, until the takeaway, the fumble that the Bucs created in that overtime period. But another close finish against a very good team for the Panthers, and you've seen progress in their young quarterback.
Yeah, I know that there's no moral victories in the National Football League, but when you run into games and you play really well and your young quarterback really excels, you start doing things right. You start getting better talent in the offseason. And I always think back to what Detroit did when Dan Campbell took over. 3-13 their first year. They start in their second year 1-6. Then they go on a win streak. They start playing with some confidence, and the rest is history. They're the best team in football right now, or one of the top 2 or 3 teams in football right now. So it takes a little bit of time learning how to win, and we're seeing that even with losses the last 2 weeks to both Kansas City and to Tampa Bay. We're seeing some improvement, some growth with this Carolina Panthers team.
Bucs try to make the playoffs for the 5th straight year. They'll have the Raiders up next. They'll see the Panthers a little later in their schedule. That's the story here in Carolina.